Sarge56 says he's been watching the British election results and they're looking good. Have I been watching? I have not been watching. I don't have the slightest idea. But I'm not surprised to hear they're going well. I have been feeling more and more strongly, in fact, it's accelerating, that progressivism is on its way out. Not forever, because rust never sleeps, and neither do termites. But I do feel that people have had enough of it. Looks like Boris is winning, so that's or has won apparently, big margin, good. So yeah, and Mobile Moto said we're going to vote until we get the right answer. That's what they tried to do, with the Brexit. The British public said we want Brexit, and the elites didn't want Brexit, and so they said, well, we've tallied the results of the election, and the electorate has made a mistake, so we will wait a little time for it to die down, and then we'll have another referendum, and we'll keep having referendums until the public realizes the correct answer, which is the answer we want, and then we'll stop having referendums after that. So if Boris won, that means that there's enough conservative mojo in Britain, and it looks like Brexit will finally happen, and couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people. Of all the things that really kind of tick me off about the European Union, is their absolute insistence on having it both ways. So if you, as I mentioned before, this used to really drive me nuts. If you go to Wikipedia, let's say, and you look at biggest countries in the world by size of their economy, it turns out number one is the European Union, just slightly ahead of the United States. EU is number one with the biggest economy in the world, and then second US, and so on down the list. Well, first of all, when Britain leaves, they won't be. But more importantly than that, if EU is the biggest economy in the world, then how come the EU doesn't have an EU Olympic team and an EU ambassador in the United Nations? Why is it that that they would lump all of that stuff together, but they still have Britain's team and France's team and Germany's team and all the rest of it? It's just, it's just this kind of, it's like the A380. It's a big airplane that wasn't needed, that is now out of production. Boeing did it 40 years earlier and better. And a 747 is a better jet than the A380, in my humble opinion. And even disregarding my opinion, it's a better plane. So all of these kind of things, and so I'm just kind of glad that Britain has pulled themselves out of this, and I think the EU brought it on themselves because, in 2015 when Merkel brings in to 175 people in a German village that have been living there for centuries, and she has 175 people in this village and puts in 450 immigrants from North Africa, and then she says, if you don't like it, you can leave Germany. She says this to the Germans, who've been living there. This is what you get. And good, decent people like us and like most people in the West took it and took it and took it and took it and took it. And now, I think we're done taking it. Let's see what we got here. Oh, a related question from Dave Olson. I'm watching my lefty friends meltdown over the UK elections with much mirth and amusement. Haha. One went so far as to say he hopes Vladimir is happy with his results. As a matter of etiquette, just how hard should I rub it in? I would say rub it in until your arms are aching so badly that you think you're going to faint from the pain, and then hire somebody else to rub it in for you while you recover. That's what I would do if I were you. It's, if I would have said don't rub it in at all if it had just been a question of like, well, looks like we lost the election, but that's not what you said here. It's like, looks like they cheated their way into election. So, yeah, rub until the genie appears. Excuse me. Dave Olson from last week also wants to know, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? I don't know. I'm not going to be engaged in that divisive issue, and God knows that that I've gotten enough hate mail already on some issues, so I am not going to determine whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie, even though it's not a Christmas movie.